Hey, welcome back. This is Barb Pask. I'm going to paint tonight on an 8x10 Centurion panel. As you can see, I primed it with bright acrylic colors. I just do them all this way. But generally, I do them horizontal because usually when I'm out plein air painting, it seems like more often than not my scene tends to be horizontal. But had I realized what I was going to paint on this, I would have toned it the other way, because I'm doing a vertical format, as you can see. I'm doing a photo that I took the other day at this farm that we visited. Isn't that wonderful? I just loved everything about it. There's even a little distant barn, and the roof has a peak on it. I just thought that quite, excited me, which it should. Whatever you choose to paint, you should feel great about. Yeah, we had the opportunity to go to this farm the other day and paint, and it was a chilly morning. In the photo, they took photos. In the photo they took of me, I looked like I was all padded up, and I was. I had on 4 layers because it started off pretty chilly. We're getting ready, I mentioned that before, but to go on a trip, a plein air trip here soon with my one group, and I'm going to be taking lots of clothes because I think the high one day is in the 50s, and ooh, that's a little chilly. So I'll probably wear thermals, and again, I'd rather layer, and then you can peel layers off. But anyway, this farm was just a wonderful place to go. Real long driveway. I had never been there. The house was 200 years old. Lots of barns and outbuildings, a silo. It just was heaven. It's a kind of place you could paint there over and over and over. I ended up, you walk around, you shoot photos. I mentioned that before, but that's the best way to start. Either go with your view catcher and walk around and look through that. But photos are better because then you can pick up some great reference photos like I did here to paint later. So usually I look around through with the photos I've taken and see what really appeals to me that way. And I painted the house. There was great sunlight on it, dappled light. So I painted I like to see 2 sides to a building. That's another hint for you too. Even though a lot of artists don't paint that way, like Hopper, he could do just a flat fronts of buildings. It was fabulous. But I personally, if it's possible, usually like to catch like 2 sides. And that's what I did. I stood on the side to the corner so I could see the front of the building and the side. And I had all this great light, sunlight, shadows hitting it. So tried to work quick, and get my darks in. I tried to go ahead and block in those shadows that I saw with a somewhat darker value. So I didn't, so I tried not to chase them. I talk about that a lot, So it was just the best day. I had a great time. So we're going to start with a smaller brush, some ultramarine, some transparent red oxide. Going to thin it with a little bit of solvent, and we'll start put our brush out there and see where on the photo things land. I've cropped it a little bit to what I hope is approximately an 8x10 format. The pine tree is going to run off. The roof is about there. So just make little reference marks to help ourselves out. The edge front of that shed goes about there. If this is the roof, just below that is the building behind it, and it goes over quite a ways to about there. The bottom of the shed, at least what I can see, is about down in there, I think. No, that doesn't seem right. That seems too low. I think a little higher. So anyway, on the 18th, 19th, and 20th, I'll be in Aurora, Indiana, painting with the one group. I'm excited about that. You know, you never know what to expect. Some years we get there and we have great weather. Sometimes it's like winter. Sometimes you get a combination of both. One day is great and the next day just goes to crap. So you never know. First time I ever painted in my car was on one of those trips. Which I'm pretty good at, and I enjoy it actually quite a bit. That's about the peak. So if need be, challenging thing with painting your car is getting a scene that you want to paint in front of your windshield or off to your side. What I'm doing now is checking the angle of the building, put my brush in front of it, transfer it up. Boy, this one, it's very steep. Boy, it's surprising. So we're just doing a sketch and kind of, again, I always say that, but kind of a value sketch too. This side's in the shadow. I think these are Cosmos, which I have decided I need to grow next year. I have a friend that grows them and she puts photos on Facebook, and I mean, for still lifes, I think I need some of those. And we look at the space from the corner to the edge of the window to get that spacing. And then the door is actually open. So how far from the corner of the window is the height? I think I like the idea that it's open. We'll see. It may, you know, making it read correctly might be tricky. We'll see. So the door would obviously go down, and even though I can't see it for all the flowers. I watched Craig Nelson paint today. I told you he paints live on Fridays on Facebook. If you don't watch him, you should. He's a very good artist. But he was doing a real challenging scene today. He was doing like a creek view with trees behind it and reflections in the water. It was a very good lesson. So if that's something you enjoy doing, you might go, you could find him on Facebook. He posts them after his demo and watch him. But you know, a scene like that can be just overwhelming, I think. And I wanted to see how he handled it. He did, as most oil painters do, he blocked in all his dark first, and but he did a good job. He's a good artist. I actually have purchased a couple of his DVDs. I mean, so people pay to watch him demo, and he's been giving it away ever since the Big C, you know, since that all started. Friday afternoons. All right, let's see. Like I said, this roof tips up, which I thought was kind of interesting. We'll see. I feel like I'm going too far with it. We'll see. You can't see much of the building at all, just that little section there maybe, and the roof. This is all greenery. But this place had beautiful gardens, and it just would be a lot to keep up with. I think he said they had 120 acres. It's just really neat when people welcome you onto their property like that. All right, let me zoom in and see what I'm looking at back here. Okay, I can see some of that front corner of that building, and we can see some brighter green back here, which might give it some depth. So I'm just taking my time. Like I say, enjoy this part of it too, and let me look where this goes in relation to that. That's about right, I think. Like I said, lots of flowers. Lots of flowers up in front of the door. There's like stones around here. And this is just a green space. With some shadows coming across. And I'll have to decide whether it's important. There are some pickets here. You know, we might want that. I don't know at this point. And this is a metal roof. Got a lot of paint up there. We're going to wipe some of that off. So again, we're doing, you know, a value sketch too. So we are getting our darks in here first. Got an unusual kind of angle. I might have gotten that a little high. I don't know if it matters. Yeah, the bush is not quite that high. Again, who would know? It doesn't really matter. But I don't want to get into this dark where I don't want it, so. Okay, let me look at that again. As I zoomed into that, I thought that bush went all the way up there, and it doesn't. Kind of ends about there. Now, if I was doing plein air, I would go after the lightest lights first. We can handle it any way we want today. I'm going to, for no particular reason, I think I'm going to start with that building. I think I may cut back on and post maybe once a week. I sometimes think I post too much, maybe. But we'll see. The next several weeks I'm kind of busy, so we'll even see how that goes. Next week is my birthday week, and I've got things planned, dropping off paintings and dinners, and then the following week I'll be out of town part of the week, and the week after that I'll be out of town. So do what I can. I said some of them, if I get a chance on my trip, it might be fun just to bop in and post a short video. All right, I'm mixing up a couple different values for the building. Something for the dark side and this dark area, and then the front. It's just a kind of a gray, but it's a warmer gray. And the roof, again, looks to be a metal roof. All right, we'll dip into a little solvent. And I think I will start with the light part of it while my brush is clean. You know me, I tend to paint with one brush a lot. I'll probably have to zoom in and observe what's going on with this door later on. And this window angles down a little bit. I can see the door has like panes on it, kind of like a French door. I'm going to just run that down. It might be further than I need, but that won't matter. Let me zoom in here. Oops. I have no idea what I'm seeing there below that window. Sheds are funny things, aren't they? I'll put some dark in there for like the opening, and we'll decide about the door. And the roof is a similar color. Got a plein air event, doing a competition on the, I think it's the 22nd, it's a Saturday in Marymount, Ohio. So, hoping, of course, for good weather for that. Who knows, right? This time of the year can be really tricky. And again, we're going to look at that door later on. We got a lot of greens in this picture. The distant roof is, the base of it could be this color, but then I want to come back and put some transparent red oxide on top. And again, don't know that it's necessary to put it in, but I think it's kind of cute that it peeks up in the front. Actually, I'm going to make some orange, Cad Red Light and Cad Jelly Medium, and mix that into a little transparent red oxide because it's a little orangier than just the color by itself. So again, we can see part of the shed, and this is all greenery. So we'll just make a gray. The three primaries, but it's a cooler gray as I look at it. It's a little dark. And I think I do see a bit of it up here. And you know, it's my painting. I could do whatever I think I need. Of course you would too. The other day, matter of fact, I painted that house, and when I put it up for critique, in the front was a tree, and it was kind of an ugly, rusty, burgundy kind of color, and I could have absolutely painted that, but I made the decision to make it more of a pink color. When I put it up, they were for critique, they were kind of like, pink? Where's the pink? It's like, this is Barbie's world. I wanted a pink tree, so I think I like it for now. I'm gonna look at it and decide. I mean, abstract painters sure paint their world, don't they? Okay, I'm mixing up a really dark Indian yellow and ultramarine blue, and I'm putting some crimson in it because I want to warm it up, and blocking in the bottom of this bush that I see here. It is really dark. We'll be jumping around wherever I feel like going, you know. And this is the top of that bush. Oh, quite large bush. Goes up on the roof. And all the way out into here. I might put a little of it down in here in the darker part because I do see a few little lights down in there. you know, and we'll see how that looks in the end. All right. You know, I can't leave it, I don't want it to feel like a hole. That's one advantage, let me say that right now, of plein air painting and being there in person, is you see things better. Sometimes photographs like this just make darks into a mass, and when you're there in person you see into the shape better. So I'm putting a little color in there, we'll see. All right. Just putting in the darkest greens that I see right now. Oh, okay. Part of this goes down over here too, I've realized. It seems really thick for the center of a pine, so I don't know what is actually there, but all right, we'll go after this little tree here next. And I actually see some red in it. Starting to get a few fall colors here. Yeah, like I said, we're putting some red in it because I do see it. And I do see some areas that's a bit lighter. A lot of green stuff going on back there, huh? Like I said, right in this area here, there's a real bright green. Hopefully that will, when we get there, maybe pull our eye back. Then there's a bush to the right here that's a little cooler, and I want it to recede. keep it really dark down the bottom there. And like I said, this is actually, as I'm looking at this again, I feel like this is a bit wider than I see it, so we may want to bring this over a little bit. Plus I want it to, I want it interesting, so maybe all that grassy area isn't as interesting. All right, let's keep moving forward. Mixing up more of my dark transparent green with a touch of crimson. It's kind of confusing actually, what's going on way back in there anyway. Like I said, this is open area, and these are shadows coming out into here. And underneath the plants are darker. I'm going to go ahead and block in where the door would be in case some of that shows through. Same with this. We'll go ahead and put some color down there too. Let's block in that sky. I'll clean my brush a little bit. I could go, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll switch. I'll save this for my greens and we'll switch to a different brush. The sky is actually very blue. And it doesn't look that way through the monitor. For you, it looks like a warmer blue. For me, it's a cooler blue. Yeah, it makes it definitely look like a warmer blue to you. But, and I kind of like that. I'm going to go with cobalt and white. We'll see. I may even put some ultramarine in there, because it leans more that way. Yeah, once it warmed up that day, it was just the prettiest day. Yeah, like I said, if I had primed this, toned this for this particular scene, I would have went orange at the top and this kind of purple color at the bottom. But it'd be fine, going to get warmer and lighter. There is clouds. Don't know that I care about them, but we'll see. I mentioned this before, but I'm taking one of those 6 by 18 inch panels. I toned one for my trip to Aurora, and my plan is the first day to try to paint one of the city blocks there. I really like those panels. I like a panoramic view in a painting, no matter what size it is. I just think it's very interesting. So that's my hope, is that things go well and I can paint one of the city blocks. I think we're supposed to, the second day, sometimes they plan things, and the second day we're all going together up to a place that sits on top of a hill and has a view of the river, because it's a river town. That's usually not something I'm interested in painting, but some of them really love that. But there is supposed to be an old building up there, so I'm sure, there's always something to paint. Let me get back from that and see how that looks. We could, actually suggest clouds if we wanted. It can't hurt to try things. I mean, if you put it on, don't like it, then you take it off, right? So let's think about that. Maybe we'll. I feel like it's too isolated, even though I don't see it over here. I don't know. Maybe put a little bit over there. So we could leave that just like that, or we could, do a little blending. We're going to move on, and I'm just going to look at that and decide how I feel about it. All right, let's put that brush down, and we'll go back to the brush that we were using for all our greens. I'm feeling like some of these areas could be a little lighter. This is just a bunch of scruffy beds here, as is this. Let's work on that right side, because this is where the flowers are, which to me is the most fun. Okay, we're going to take some cobalt and some cad yellow medium. And a little white. trying to make a lighter, brighter green. Kind of pull your eye back there maybe. We'll see. That might be too dark in value. It looks pretty dark to me. I think I want it lighter yet. But I want to be tricky, you know, because I want to be careful, I mean, because I don't want it so we'll leave that there for now and we'll just decide. All right, now I see some white fencing here. Do we want it? Do we need it? I don't know, but we're going to work on this scruffy stuff for now. We got our darks in there already. So we'll step up to something a bit lighter. Trying to vary the greens a little bit. Those are just shadows that I see. There's actually, you know, kind of a border around this. Probably rocks, I'm not sure. Even with an old slanted window, your verticals are always vertical. You know, your window might angle down, which it does kind of, to head toward, for perspective, to head toward the vanishing point, toward the horizon, but your verticals are going to be vertical. Let me look at the door here. Let's zoom in. I think I'll try to kind of block it in with a smaller brush first, and then think about what it does here. It comes across like that. Shadow that comes over and down. I don't know if that will make sense. Yeah, before we left the house, I went in to use the bathroom. I wanted to see the house. It's still, I mean, it's beautiful on the outside, but it still feels like an old house on the inside. And he was showing me an old rocking chair that they have a picture of his dad sitting in when he was a little tiny baby that they rebuilt. I took a little yellow and white. Something a little brighter. I have a cane over there that I could use for a stick to balance my hands. Oop. Just brightening up a few places. My yellow and white. This little shed's my focal point. seeing where else it's catching light. We'll see if we like that. I made it a bit brighter yet, as you can see, because it really, the edge of it's out and catching light. I don't know. That may be confusing. I'm looking at the angle of that. It goes uphill a little bit, maybe more than I have it. I'm seeing the building through there. Let me back up. Paint on my iPad. No surprise there, huh? Again, these are Cosmos, so we might even want to explain a few of them. I don't know. Those have been crimson and white up to now. And there's beautiful different, I've only got the 2 reds on my palette, but there's beautiful shades of red you could use for these. And they even make radiants, they're called, which are oil color. I mean, I just happen to work with a limited palette, but I've mixed some cad red in here now along with the crimson, trying to kick it up. And my flowers obviously are not, they're abstract and impressionistic too. And the flowers just so happen to be all pink, but I could make them whatever color I wanted. I'm going to pull some of them a little more purple. Put a little blue in there. Let's get some different ones going here. Different varieties of color. And if it mattered to you what kind of flower they are, you could paint in every little flower, I guess. We know I'm not going to do that. Some cooler greens down in this corner I'm kind of putting in. Well, let's get this blocked in, and then we'll, I mean, there'll probably be more work to do that I won't get done tonight, but we'll get some green down in the foreground, at least before we quit, right? I'm pretty heavy, as you can see. Why not? That's those shadows areas. We'll look at those again. And the foreground wasn't shadowed, but sometimes that's interesting to do, do a kind of dappled light. Yeah, that's up too high. We've got to pull that down. Let's see what we actually see back in there. Actually, way back in there is lighter. And then it gets a bit darker. And then there's actually I'm going to look at that area again. I'm not in love with that. It actually kind of goes around the shed and gets a little warmer, and then back in there you see some stuff. So you don't know yet. Going a little darker down here in the corners. You know, and I could kick up more things like the edge of this building. Not like that. I think it could be a little brighter yet. We'll decide about that. I don't want the whole thing to feel outlined, but I like it to stand out a little bit more. I don't love the flower garden, so I got to think about that. There's some kind of a A stick sticking up there, which I don't have to put it like I see it, but you know, with an old place like this, you might see just anything. You might see sections of fence, you know, really anything. Sometimes you can do a, maybe have a couple different paintings of different farms, and you like elements in each of them, and you know, maybe you want to combine them, you know. I don't know if you ever watched, what's his name? Jerry Arnell. Yeah, he's an acrylic painter mostly, but he does a lot of that. He'll have photos from different places that I don't like that he'll combine. Yeah, see, that's almost too dark, I think, that area, because it's like the darkest dark right in the middle. Kind of, there was a shadow there. I think that's a little better. And pine trees can be fun. All different shapes of them too, isn't there? That one's kind of gnarly. I'm probably just going to decide what works and what doesn't. Look at this. Not sure about all that. Let me back up and look at the whole thing compared to the photo. I still want to pull your eye back there, so we're going to brighten that up. All right, I'm going to get off of here. We've been at an hour and 10 minutes. I want to resolve that some more. I'm not sure what I want to do, but the flowers probably could be brighter. You never know what I might end up doing with it. I might feel like I need to wipe it down and start over even. I don't know. Right, I hope you enjoyed watching that. Like always, things I like, things I'm not sure of. Might bring in a few more sky holes into that bush. But there's things I do like for sure. I think I like the pine. I got to make sure that door feels like it's open, so we got to look at that again. I think I've got my angle about right. And this I'm not sure of. So, okay, thanks again for joining me. Like and subscribe. And again, I'm not sure how the next 3 weeks or so will go for me. Might be a mini video here or there, so you could check for that. All right, thank you so much. Great of you to join me. Have a nice day.